The Bitcoin Group, the American original. For over the last 10 years, the sharpest Satoshis, the best Bitcoins, the hardest cryptocurrency talk. We'd like to welcome our panelists. Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister.
Hello, Thomas, baby.
And I'm Thomas Hunt from the World Crypto Network. Moving on to issue 1. Bitcoin price clings to 90K as traders eye U.S. Supreme Court tariff ruling. The tariff ruling by the Supreme Court was expected today, on Friday. They've pushed it to Wednesday of next week, perhaps because of the political events going on in the United States, perhaps because the Supreme Court was busy today. No one knows. The price of Bitcoin is down 1.1% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 90,297, a high of 92,000, and a low of 89,679. That's $1 for 1,107 Satoshis. We're joined by Adam Meister. Adam Meister, what do you think about the price of Bitcoin? The price of markets generally, as I said, seems in a holding pattern until the Supreme Court lets us know if Trump's tariffs are legal or not. There also seems to be a reaction to that if the tariffs are made illegal, that the president would then push them forward in a different way, and we would have another discussion on whether or not the different way, whatever it may be, is legal or not.
There's a lot going on here. Would it be nice if they just would have given us a date a long time ago? Because they've already decided. I believe it's been decided. They've released dates. It's just, they're very secretive that way. And this is an important thing. So once they deem it illegal, because it is illegal, the Bitcoin crash, the price will go down. But as you also said, they have something else up their sleeve over there. So there'll be another court hearing eventually. There'll be another excuse why the president of the United States can arbitrarily just issue tariffs on people, on countries, and for random numbers, random industries, excluding random industries. This is going to go on a little while, but for Bitcoin purposes only here, the price is not baked in. It will go down. It will go down when the announcement, and it is when it's deemed illegal on Wednesday now, I guess. They could delay it again, people, too, so don't hold your breath till Wednesday.
Now, we don't know. It could go either way. They could, if we look at why they didn't release it today. Okay, so they didn't release it today. The country's kind of in a firestorm, as we all know. We don't really want to talk about it here. It's not really part of the show, but there was a situation in Minnesota. So they might want to just, out of respect for the situation, move it along. Or if they're thinking strategically, if they're actually going to give the president more power, give him the power to do tariffs unilaterally, which would increase the powers of the president. Maybe they don't want to do that with people in the streets. On the other side, if they're going to actually reduce the power of the president, that would please the people in the streets. However, as we've discussed, they have some kind of backup plan. They're going to run them through in a different way. I don't know how that's going to turn out either.
They're not supposed to be a political organization whatsoever. They should have released it when they shouldn't be worried about reactions here, reactions there. I don't buy that. I think, again, I'm saying you're entitled to your opinion also that maybe that the president has enough friends on the Supreme Court that this is going to be deemed legal. I'm logically looking at it, and I'm just seeing how in any way can this be allowed to continue unless John Roberts wants some compromise and says, well, it's going to be hard to pay all the money back or something like that. It could be I really wish we do, if they're going to do tariffs, which are taxes, let the Congress do it like the old-fashioned way. We can't have just the president, and the president has done some good things, he's done some bad things, but this is not a power that the president has to issue these tariffs, random tariffs, and just try to take charge of the economy and guide it. I hear his lackey, what's that guy's name? Not Bassett, the Howard Lutnick from New York. My God, they're interviewing him on All In yesterday, and he could say nothing wrong. Like, oh my God, he's so flattered by the government. He's so telling us how wise every move that they do, every economic move they do is so wise, so planned. Oh man, it's ludicrous. Separation. I thought as a Bitcoiner, it's just separation of money and state. That's just the more you let, even if your guy is in charge over there, one day your guy is going to be in charge. And just imagine if Elizabeth Warren was in charge. All you people who are loving what Trump is doing with the economy, imagine if Elizabeth Warren is in charge. Because one day that's going to happen. Pound that like button. I'm not pounding that like button is a good thing, but just pound that like button to give him some like here. All right.
Additionally, the tariffs are so arbitrary. He puts them on, he takes them off, he puts them on, he takes them off. If you were a businessman and you were trying to produce widgets in this market, how on earth would you do it? How would you say what your supply is going to be, what your sales are going to be? You have no idea how much you're going to be paying in and out. A lot of people didn't even understand that their supply chain relied on this. There's a famous story of a guy who used to sell knife sharpeners or make knives or something. He's like, I make all American. It's fine. He found out that his American suppliers all relied on German suppliers. They all had to pay massive tariffs. It ruined his business.
Yeah,
additionally, as you were saying, Adam, when you're saying he's going to control the economy, I don't know if anyone remembers, but that's Soviet talk, right? That's communist talk.
It is Soviet.
Controlling the economy, deciding what's going to happen. If it's
central planner is Soviet.
Tariffs, I mean,
to have a central planner is Soviet in its ways. There should be no central, but you just had a great tie-in there, which you should elaborate on. Predictability. That is one of the great things about Bitcoin. Its economic policy is 100% predictable. Everyone's like, what are we going to do at 2100? We know what's going to be going on in 2100 with Bitcoin. We know its exact policy, how many new ones are going to be created, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here we have a situation where you let the government take over things. You don't know what's going to be going on in the next minute. And that's where our economy was horrible in 2025. Bitcoin would have done so much better. Everything would have been so much better if there was just normal predictability. Normal, instead of just at a whim, you don't know what the next thing is going to be. That is very bad. That is very bad for any economy. 100% predictability. There's never going to be an economic policy as good as Bitcoin. But my God, we're the United States of America. We've gotten close to having just some, every few months they'll change the interest rate or whatever, but nothing major like this. Nothing that has to rely on the Supreme Court every 6 months to come up with a new decision. So think big picture here. Think big picture, everyone. Let's just have something stay the same, just like Bitcoin is. If you're a Bitcoiner, you're really grasping this, grokking this now, I hope. Like, our economic policy in Bitcoin never changes. Let's try to get closer to that in the United States instead of just having this randomness. Okay, we've really elaborated. Listen.
Well, we've been building this way for a long time with the imperial presidency. It started under W. Bush, and we made the same arguments that you're making, Adam, where we said, you gotta, put him in check. You gotta roll these back. You gotta try these people. And when President Obama came into power, we may have agreed with him on a lot of things, but I never agreed with him on this decision not to have accountability for the W. Bush, imperial presidency. They did whatever they wanted. Now we're seeing in the same way, they do whatever they want, even in economic matters, even in long settled economic matters. Just the other day, the president pulled us out of 66 treaties and other groups. There's just a lot of change in this market. As Adam said, a lot of people have speculated that if President Trump had just gone golfing this entire term, not passed anything, no executive orders, no nothing, the economy would be way up. He would be way more popular, and we'd all just, Bitcoin would be up, everything would be up. I mean, he just could have just gone golfing, but there's all these other things that they're doing. They're enriching themselves, so on and so forth, which we've seen time and time again. And now the new plan is that they're going to take the money from the Venezuelan oil sales, and the president will be keeping it outside of the Treasury Department. Which, like you say, Adam, even if you support this Venezuelan action or whatever, can anyone really support the president holding money outside of the Treasury Department? It's just a ridiculous speculation at its very core.
Well,
but they're going to do it.
You use the term imperial presidency. You said it's been going on since George W. Bush. We don't have to get into the specifics of it all, but it's been going on long before that. Okay, with these executive orders, you can see the increase through the years is insane. The United States. So let's simplify this and depoliticize it, people. The United States of America should not be run by executive orders. That's it. It's that simple. Just let's not have executive orders. That's not. It's a three-pronged thing here. We got Supreme Court. We got Congress, and we got a president, executive, legislature, and the whatever, the judicial. Let's go back to the 5th grade and relearn that and just apply it. And it isn't the Congress has not, they could have stopped this a long time ago. Okay, but you're absolutely right also with in terms of 2025, if the President of the United States would have never done any tariffs at all and just would have went golfing, he could have called Liberation Day the day I'm going to go golfing for 100 days straight or something. Bitcoin would have gotten to $200,000. Pound that like button. But that did not happen. That did not. Sad. Very sad.
Well, let's start to move on towards the next issue, as we already went very close towards politics today. But fortunately, we have the arbiter of all truth with us, so everyone can agree. The Bitcoin Magic 8 Ball, the source of all truth. Adam Meister, will the price of Bitcoin be higher or lower this time next week?
Oh, lower. Yeah, definitely lower.
I'm going to stick with higher. I always think higher, but who knows what's going to happen.
You don't think the tariff? You don't think the Supreme Court is going to go?
You don't think they're going to get the tariffs? I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to cut
the run that Bitcoin's on with the ETFs and all the other people waiting in the wings to buy. I think they'll see it as a sale and they'll buy it back.
I think them saying it's illegal, it won't help it. I don't think it will. I don't think it'll help Bitcoin. I don't think it'll help Bitcoin. That I guess I should have prefaced that before. It should, but it's just because there's going to be a whole new level of unpredictability.
But what will the ball say? Will the price of Bitcoin be higher this time next week? Really hard to read. Let's see. It builds the drama. It is decidedly so. It is decidedly so. The ball hath spoken. Moving on.
Like
Go ahead, Adam.
No, it sounded like the Pharaoh in the 1956 movie. What's it? The famous movie, 10 Commandments.
Moving on to issue 2. Walmart to accept Bitcoin at the checkout. Walmart now enables Bitcoin payments at the checkout via OnePay Cash, tapping 150 million customers. I've also seen people celebrating. They take Ethereum, they take Solana. I guess this company takes a lot of different coins. But this is important to us at the Bitcoin Group, and I think we've covered it here before, but we'll go ahead and cover it again, because on episode 1 of the Bitcoin Group, which originally aired October 19th, 2013, it went a little something like this.
The Bitcoin Group, the American original. For over the last 10 seconds, the sharpest Satoshis, the best Bitcoins, the hardest cryptocurrency talk. Issue 1, Walmart and Bitcoin. If your Bitcoin is so great, why can't it be accepted in the real world? Is Bitcoin ready for the rigors of checkout? Customers use their credit cards and enjoy near instantaneous transactions. Why would they wait for Bitcoin when they can soon push their carts full of RFID chips across a scanner, a process that will transform checkout? What is the future of this Bitcoin in brick and mortar retail? I ask you, Andreas Antonopoulos.
I don't think people will use Bitcoin to buy stuff at Walmart, not for a very long time. It's not ready. The infrastructure isn't there. The point of sale systems aren't there. The corporate structures aren't there. The legal systems aren't there. It's going to take a long time until you can pay for your groceries at Walmart with Bitcoin. And even if that time comes, it's probably going to be more like a loyalty card, so you sign up for it in advance, rather than a instantaneous cash-like transaction, which is ad hoc. So,
Adam Meister, it's been a long time. It's been 13 years, but for what it's worth, you can spend your Bitcoin at Walmart. How about that?
Well, I got a lot to say. It's been so much time that my somebody that's watching this show was born 3 days before that show aired. Also, all the people who only look at us, which is most people that don't pay attention to a word we're saying because they're complete 80%ers. They're going to be like, why does everybody look so young then? Dude, you do know in 13 years people age. I mean, that's like, it's life. It's in this
next time you guys should try to not age next time.
Yeah, that's like, I don't get it with some of these people. They're like, Adam, you look older than you used to. I think, yeah, it's been 13 years. Like, do you know what that means? Did you live your life? I mean, or did you just like, It's just amazing some of the things that people say. Anyway, but with Walmart, so now you could use some. People still have a very, very hard time sending a Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm going to say it's great that there's some app or something where you can spend your Bitcoin at Walmart, but it takes some doing, doesn't it? It takes some downloading. I didn't attempt because I don't sell my Bitcoin. Okay, I don't spend my Bitcoin. I don't need to do that. We've been through this before, but so I'm wondering how easy this is. I would love to be in the dream world where, like, why can't Walmart just accept a Bitcoin? But even closer to reality, why can't Walmart just accept stable coins? Okay, what? It's $1. That's what it is. We're going to talk about stable coins a little bit later, but that isn't even there yet. So here's the question for one of you people out there who don't think that people age after 13 years. For all you wise people out there, is it easier to do this, to spend your Bitcoin this way with this app or whatever, or would it be just easier just to go to bit refill, get a gift card, and then just use it at Walmart, which is apparently pretty easy to do. So I don't know. I don't know how much different is this for like bit refill in terms of ease. And well, that's just I'm really looking forward to the world when and supposedly we have the regulation now. It's supposedly the groundwork has been laid where I can just get my tether and spend my tether at Walmart. Why can't I do that? Why? I mean, well, Elizabeth Warren says no because it's going to make people poor or something. But okay, so we're not there yet. So we've kind of been through this news before. Is what I'm saying a little bit.
It's definitely an intermediary step. The app probably holds your Bitcoin, probably sends it to pretend Walmart. The company pays Walmart a bunch of money at the end of the month or whatever, some kind of settlement plan. But because they don't, we're not talking about how long it's going to take to send the Bitcoin. No one's mentioning the Lightning Network here. And Walmart isn't building a big hoard of Bitcoin as you would expect them to, given what's happened so far. But it's still Bitcoin being accepted at Walmart. Let's go to our next panelist, Derek J.
Derek J.
I disagree strongly with Andreas. I think it's just around the corner. In 9 months, there will be a release of a new app for Google Glass called Glass Pay, which allows users, among other things, to go shopping in a regular retail store and scan the UPCs of their items with their eyes or their phone and pay with Bitcoin without even waiting in a line. So their advantages are obvious. People prefer to use the self-checkout. This removes just one more layer of the payment process. So it's only a matter of time, and I think that time is quick.
Davi Barker.
Derek thinks 9 months. That was an incredibly quick prediction. He's also incredibly futuristic with the Google Glass. That was wrong. Also, I was very wrong on RFID chips. There was an idea that you could have a magical shopping cart. Everything you put in the cart tells you how much money is on the little thing. I'm sure they tested that, and they're like, yeah, we shouldn't tell people how much money is in the cart. And then the same way, you could just drive the cart across the checkout thing, and it would, cash out all your things, and checkout would be so easy. That didn't happen either. The closest we've got, I've seen a thing at the grocery store. You can walk around with a little scanner, and you can scan all the items yourself. And then, I don't know, I guess they'll check your cart like they do at Costco, make sure you didn't sneak any, expensive items on there. We also didn't predict that the grocery stores would become prisons with all of the deodorants and soaps held behind glass containers everywhere, and you got to get a key, and the liquor aisle is like a panopticon, and lady watches you the whole time. You just got to get a bottle of whiskey. But that's not in the predictions. Let's go one more back to the retro for Davi Barker. Let's see what Davi said.
I'm middle of the road here. I think Andreas is right. I think technologically we're not there. I think Derek is right. I think the innovations are right around the corner. It's just a matter of demand. If it becomes something that there is a strong demand for, someone will design the software and the hardware, and it'll happen. And right now there isn't. Right now it seems like Bitcoin mostly lives online, and that's okay.
Andreas, you seem to disagree with Derek.
That was an incredibly reasonable take there by Davi Barker, waiting for the demand, which, as we've seen, has caused whatever this company is, OnePay, to, quote, offer Bitcoin. And in the same way, everyone in the comments of the chat could say they're offering Solana or Ethereum or GoGo Coin or whatever's on their platform. Who knows? Anything they want to add that their cousin made. But still, it's neat to see, and it's a classic Bitcoin group episode. When I Googled YouTube Bitcoin group number 001, it came right up, and it said that the tagline that I think Google wrote or something, it says, "It's going to take a long time until you can pay for your groceries at Walmart with Bitcoin." Well, that time is up. That time is today. That's mainly what I want to say about this issue.
Well, I think something the old video also shows is like, it takes a long time, dudes. So many people had predictions like, yes, everyone will be spending Bitcoin in 2018 or something. I mean, and yeah, supply demand for a product. A lot of people have not wanted to spend their Bitcoin, but people do want to spend their stable coins. So let's get into that a little bit more. Developers and regulators. Oh God! All right.
And there's certainly been lots of stories this year about people selling and buying their Bitcoin. And also, I was going to say all the predictions were wrong this year. Everybody said 200K end of year, 300K end of year. All this, like, it doesn't matter what's happening. There's the Santa Claus rally. There's a Thanksgiving rally. It's a end of Christmas, after Christmas rally. There's a rally. Nothing that seemed to happen. The price seemed to ignore all these people. We didn't get
this
to
was
the
not in
group, but.
Thomas, this wasn't in our topic list, but I did want to say there's a lot of people who are like, the cycle is dead. You know what, people? So far, there is absolutely zero evidence the cycle is dead. In fact, the cycle is 100% alive at this point. For all you people, because show it to me, people. When's it going to get back to 127,000? Show it to me, people. Show it to me. Because it hasn't happened. And that means the cycle thing will be different. But we are in 2022, 2028, 2014 again. And I see I'm the biggest optimist in the world. Please, Hashem, show us how this year is different from all those other years, that all of a sudden the cycle is over. But nothing has been shown to show this at all. Nothing at all. The only thing that people are like, the cycle is over, is because the peak of the last cycle in late 2025 was not as high as they wanted it to be, because, well, we discussed some of the reasons why earlier. But no, so people were very disappointed in $127,000. Yeah, you should be. But it's still, well, in the long run, it's a lot better than buying at $600 a piece, when it gets to 127,000. So, but still, no, dudes, yeah, no proof at all that the cycle is that these legendary super cycle has begun. This thing, no, it's still the 4-year cycle. There's nothing at this point as of we're January 9th, 2026, and the cycle is alive.
I don't know if the cycle is dead or not, but I'm sure tired of good news not helping Bitcoin. We're getting all this positive regulation. All these senators are talking about it. The president's talking about it. MicroStrategy keeps buying it. It's just good news after good news after good news. And you look to the market and you think, can we get a little bump here? We get a little 5%, get a little 10%. No, 3% up, 3% down, kill all the longs, kill all the shorts. And it just keeps happening. So I don't know what's going on with the price of Bitcoin, but we keep waiting. Moving on to the next issue, check out worldcryptonetwork.com. We've got 4,713 videos. You could watch them for 3 months, 23 days, and 8 hours straight, consecutive with no breaks. That would be awesome. Issue 3, Venezuela, the $60 billion Bitcoin shadow reserved. Markets are focused on the $17 trillion in oil that Venezuela owns. But what about Venezuela as being the largest Bitcoin holder in the world? Rumors on the internet abound that Venezuela has secretly been accepting perhaps Tether or other stable coins for its oil, then storing the profits in Bitcoin. They may have Bitcoin and Tether, etc., worth $60 billion, which would be enough to rebuild the Venezuelan oil derricks. Maybe we could get some oil out of there. Adam Meister, what do you think about this kind of secret story within the Venezuelan larger story, which we don't really want to touch, but we would like to touch the Bitcoin aspect of it? What do you think about Venezuela?
Bitcoin conspiracy! It must be true! Oh, that must be true! The Venezuelans control the whole world! No. Okay, dudes, here we go. First of all, God bless all the dudes from Venezuela that used to appear on my show in 2016 and 2017 bravely, very bravely. And I hope they are living it up now, baby. Wherever they were, they left Venezuela. There was a guy named Gabriel. There was Maximo. There were all sorts of great people from Venezuela, and I hope they're close to coming back. But some things they used to tell me was how the people would run illegal Bitcoin miners. The government would confiscate them, because your local corrupt official would steal some Bitcoin. These communists. They're just living for the next day. They don't have long-term thinking. They weren't stashing away tons of Bitcoin. They probably were stealing some Bitcoin here and there from miners, confiscating it, spending it on the black market, on women, and on all sorts of illegal things, going to Dubai. Maybe a couple of them have them in their private bank accounts here and there. So, next time we send somebody over there to capture them, 20 of them will go flee to Dubai and live off of their Bitcoin. But no, I am not counting on some gigantic hidden Bitcoin reserve over there. And if there actually was one, if they somehow were organized enough to have a really tremendous government-controlled Bitcoin reserve, they probably have the private keys just laying around and we could get them anyway, which would be great, and we should do that. But no, I don't think it's even close to that. I don't want to grant them any efficiency or usefulness. They're a bunch of rent. It's when government runs away like that, and it just becomes survival of the fittest. I'm going to take mine. You're going to take yours, and you steal what you want to steal. I'll privately steal what I'm going to steal, and that's about it. So I don't think there's a massive. No, I don't think there's a massive Bitcoin stash. And I'm not saying they haven't dealt in Bitcoin and stable coins to avoid sanctions. They probably have, but again, they've already spoiled all that and spent it on insane things for their own luxuries.
Yeah, I think this is really an extension of the countries that sell oil in something other than dollars get overthrown theory, which is a great theory, but I think it's one of those historical theories that you develop after the fact. Like Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln, and Lincoln's secretary was named Kennedy. We couldn't predictively tell that would lead to an assassination, but after the fact, it's so suspicious. So if only the secretary was named Clinton or something else, Kennedy would have lived. I don't think we can do that here. And in the same way, I agree with you, Adam, on if they had this kind of Bitcoin, somebody in Maduro's family would have stolen it by now. Somebody in the military will steal it in the near future. The technician whose job it is to recover it will accidentally steal it, or when he turns the computer on, there won't be any Bitcoin there. Whoops, the wallet's empty. Clackety, clickety, click. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a good plan. I think it's a cute story, and it's kind of a James Bondy thing. Like, we took over Venezuela. We thought we were getting natural resources, but really we got this Bitcoin. But at the same time, as you're saying, Adam, if they're secretly selling their oil for Bitcoin, they're incredibly successful at it, right? If they have $60 billion in Bitcoin, even, Bitcoin goes up or whatever, they buy at the right time, like Bhutan. But still, how much oil were they selling underneath our noses that we wouldn't know about? And if we were going to interdict it, why wouldn't we interdict the oil or the Bitcoin or both, or the Tether or whatever it is? Yeah. So no, not a big story, but interesting Bitcoin and international relations, huh? We're everywhere this week. Moving on to issue 4. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of Chase, goes on national TV and says, crypto is better than the current financial system. The experiment phase is over. As Bitcoin_Teddy writes on Twitter, this is the pivot of the century. And the story come out just a little later. JPMorgan, as run by Dimon, Tokenizes Cash on Ethereum and Redraws Wall Street's map. Everyone is talking about tokenized stock markets on blockchains running 24/7 with accountability in the public, all the things we've been talking about for a decade now. But JPMorgan's with us this time. Jamie Dimon is with us. Adam Meister, what do you think about Jamie Dimon changing his mind? His son or daughter or something owned crypto the whole time. He told us it was a rat poison, terrible, and all these things, and it would go to zero, and no technology, not interesting. Maybe the blockchain, you know, but not Bitcoin, and all of that. And then now here we are, stable coins and cash and stocks on a blockchain.
So yeah, he said crypto is better than banks. Well, let's simplify it. Yeah, if you're gonna start your own stable coin, basically you own your own bank. And it's a lot easier and cheaper to own Tether than it is to run a gigantic worldwide bank with all these regulations and offices and physical locations and stuff. I mean, what Tether is worth is incredible. And what some of these decentralized finance platforms are worth more than like the 50th largest bank in the United States. And it's some crazy numbers there. So he just seen the facts. Yeah, crypto is better than banks. It is. It's more efficient. He'll be able to. He's got a plan to transfer JPMorgan to be a total stable coin or something like that. I don't know. That would save him a lot of money. That would make him a lot of money. And if and believe you me, they're going to be fully regulated and compliant. So they'll really be able to take this to a whole new level for all those people who just. And still, there's still a huge percentage of Americans who don't want to touch Bitcoin or cryptocurrency because there's no big name affiliated with it. But all of a sudden, if there's a JPMorgan coin, then yeah, you'll probably be able to spend that JPMorgan coin at Walmart really easily. And Americans will like that a lot. But hey, up until proven differently, the world has chosen Tether, by the way, over all of the stable coins. It still is the number one stable coin. So all those other ones out there who have a lot of people in the media, including like Jason Calhannis over at All In, who just their whole job is like to FUD Tether. I mean, it's embarrassing with that Jason guy says about Tether every week. He's repeating things from like 2019. I thought he'd be ashamed of himself. He has no shame. He has no shame because he's moved from New York to California to Texas, and he doesn't see what the problem is exactly. That why people hate him still because he's still talking about. Oh, well, yeah, maybe we should have some regulation here and some higher taxes here in Texas. You know, whatever. You know. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent here. But what I am saying is that yes, these stable coins are better than banks, but we still have a huge vested interest in traditional banking and traditional regulation that all they're going to do is FUD Tether. And yet Tether is still the number one stable coin on earth. So it's very interesting what the public has said with their pocketbook in terms of all these high level FUDders out there. And yeah, JP, I'm sure what's his face over JPMorgan will oh yeah, he'll FUD Tether, of course. Oh, it's outside the United States, totally unregulated, blah, blah, blah. Even though the Tether guy is trying to do all this stuff to ingratiate himself with the United States government. Okay, tangent there. Sorry.
I still think Tether might be the most dangerous of the stable coins. If they had to pick one that won, if it was that one, it's kind of the Binance of stable coins. They're kind of out there. They have a lot of US treasuries. If they decide tomorrow they don't like US treasuries, they're going to buy Danish treasuries or something else, could rock the market, could change the world. Like, obviously they won't do that, but that kind of power that they could just put their thumb on whatever their massive investments go to because they did so well. As Josh says all the time whenever he's here, Tether made big bets on Bitcoin at the bottom of Bitcoin, big risky bets that might have included some customer funds nobody knows, and they did very well. So if you make big bets and win, no one cares. If you make big bets and lose, that's when they all come for you. And to come back to JPMorgan and Jamie Dimon, what do you do? If you put cash and all these things on blockchains and Ethereum and all these decentralized distributed networks, and you use Bitcoin and Tether and stablecoins, what do you guys do again? Like, what is your part of this? And again, everyone invited you we all wanted these guys to be a part of it. We had them at conventions. They asked them questions over and over again. What do you think of Bitcoin? Have you read any books about it? Have you thought about it yet? Nobody thought about it. Every week they're like fudding it, attacking it, telling us it's rat poison, all this stuff, just going after Bitcoin. And one of the things I think Adam said that was really interesting, he says, we have a vested interest in these old systems. And I think in a way we do. And maybe, as Patton said, we should have a little pity on them. Maybe the Bitcoin overlords and the Tether overlords of the future should save the legacy banking system in the same way we should save the legacy telephone system. It might be useful in the future. But again, I don't know what these guys do. I don't know why they exist. And especially because they didn't tell you about this 10 years ago. What good are you guys?
It's not the preservation of the system per se. They're going to the new system. It's what's on that system is what they're preserving, and people still want their stocks in dollars, dudes. I don't like stocks at all. I think they're hard, but people are addicted. They need their stock portfolio. This is an easier way to put your to have it all on the blockchain, whatever he plans to do over there. But this other thing is that whether we like it or not, as Bitcoiners, the dollar is still the number one. Is the world reserve currency, and I see no reason why it won't be the world reserve currency for a very, 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 very. People want the dollar. People, and in the United States, we're comfortable enough to say, oh, it kind of sucks because of this, that, and it. No. So what does JPMorgan do? They just preserve the dollar dominance even more. That's part of what they do, and they print their own dollars and stuff through lending and all that stuff. So that's what they do. But it's going to be a lot easier for the dollar to dominate because of the blockchain. These stable coins, dude, these stable coins are going to destroy. And I've been saying this for a long time, a lot of third world currencies. If you can get your hands easily on a digital dollar, why you holding on to the Zimbabwe? Well, there's no the Mozambique, whatever it is, or the Nigerian Naira. Why are you going to hold a Nigerian? And people are probably like, oh, Meister, why should Nigeria is going to have more people in the United States by 2050? So that ain't no joke. It is a third world, disgusting place where they keep on printing the Nigerian Naira or whatever. That's a disgrace, obviously. But the people are going to they will flock to once it's really super easy to get this thing. The U.S. stable coins. They don't want no Naira. They're not loyal that way. Oh, I'm a good patriotic Nigerian. I'm going to own Naira. No, they're going to live with the dollar. But Naria's gone down the toilet since 2015. Actually, if you go on my channel, you can see. I said, hey, you people in Nigeria, it's 2015. I was just in South Africa. You're going through this inflation thing. You should buy yourself some Bitcoin. They didn't, but indeed, this is not like a newfangled thing. But trust me, there's a lot worse than Naira out there too. A lot worse than the Nigerian. The whole every French former colony, their currencies are like the living, not even the living dead. It's really some horrible stuff in some of these West African countries. So yeah, they'll be put out of their misery. They're going to be saved by the U.S. dollar on Tether and all this other stuff. Once it's put into their nation easier. May it happen soon.
It's strange for all the technology and all the work put into Bitcoin. What people really want are these stable coins. They want these dollar-backed coins. As Bitcoiners, we never really saw, maybe as cypherpunks or libertarians, we didn't see the rise of these things. So okay, if you're on an exchange and you want to sell into something that's not dollars so you don't get a taxable event, maybe you sell into a stable coin. So I thought that was a very small usage area. But as we know, Tether has billions and billions of dollars now. So we are hugely wrong on that. What Meister's saying, other countries using Tether, people using Tether and other stable coins for business is apparently happening all the time. And I assume these companies like Tether are getting some kind of a percentage kickback from all of these usage, some kind of transaction fee. And they are raking in the dough. So it's going great for them. It's something we never foresaw. Satoshi never foresaw. I'm not even sure if Bitcoin was meant to have value, if it was just a test net or whatever. But what seems to have succeeded against all Bitcoiner dreams is Tether and these other stable coins. And now we're seeing legislation being made, which, as we all know, will create a protected environment where companies like Tether will continue to thrive as Coinbase would, having that advantage on all of its prospective opponents, that entrenched advantage.
Hey, but make it easier for digital anything to be used in the United States. It's just it's good for Bitcoin. It's good for Bitcoin if it's easier to use Tether in the United States. It is. It's one step closer. So I'm not one of those guys who's like religious, a Bitcoin inquisitionist that think like that just automatically says Tether's an S coin. Tether's a nah. Come on, it helps people all around the world. So there's my take on it.
Well, and remember, in the long run of Bitcoin history, there's all this time where people ignore Bitcoin and they say no to it and they reject it. And we just go through another one of those periods where people are like, oh, stable coins are so great. Like they thought ICOs were so great, or they thought altcoins were so great, or they thought this was the next Bitcoin or that is the next Bitcoin. And in the same way that I've talked before about this being a golden age where you can just sell your Bitcoins for dollars at this exchange and they just show up in your account and nothing happens. There's a future perhaps where Bitcoin is again the underground currency, the pirate currency, the hacker currency. Everyone uses Tether, except when you really need to buy something you really want, then you use Bitcoin. And again, it just limps along in this background, another network, another year of perfect service, still being mined, still being updated, still being a part of things, but maybe it's not the Walmart of currencies. Maybe it's the, I don't know, some kind of small store like GameStop or something.
Well, I don't think it'll ever go back to what you just said, namely because of the Michael Saylors of the world who have, bought tremendous amounts. And they made up this, what's the asset called? A digital asset. I mean, it's completely insane. You just buy a bunch of Bitcoin and this is your company, which is great. I mean, it doesn't make that much financial sense, but we don't need to get into that. But it's not going to go from that to like the backwoods again.
It does seem eventually that they'll have to look at it and say, oh, we let a Trojan horse into our walls. We should take this Trojan horse back outside.
No, there's no
right now they're making lots of money and they have the paper Bitcoin and whatever else they're running that we don't know about. But in the long term, I think we'll go back underground again.
Well, you would need a totalitarian dictatorship for the entire world. So we'd have a lot more to worry about. But anyway, okay, we've gone off the tangent. Let's move next subject. Move on. Mike's not here all day here. Let's do this thing.
Working on that. But the exit question, this just in, Bank of America officially begins recommending that their clients invest up to 4% of their portfolio in Bitcoin and crypto. Adam Meister, what do you think? I mean, I think 4% is probably too low, but this is an awesome recommendation from a major bank. This is something if you went in and had a financial advisor, they'd say, hey, put some in stocks, some in mutual funds, some in this Bitcoin and crypto thing. You never know what could happen. I mean, it's good news.
Boomers are the richest demographic on earth right now, and they only do what their financial advisors tell them to. So that's why this is big news, because they don't think for themselves anymore. They just do what someone else tells them to do. So now that that's kosher, they will their financial advisors will feel there is 75-year-old financial advisors will tell them to do that, and maybe it'll help. Maybe more Bitcoin will actually be purchased. But so that's the news is as I see it. Not that what percent it is, just that there's a certain very wealthy and hey, if they don't do it, sadly eventually they die, and then their the Zoomer grandkids or whatever will just blow it on a lot of things like Bitcoin, and not blow it on, but just spend it all. It's trillions of dollars. It's unbelievable the amount of money of wealth that boomers control. And baby, I'm telling you, the Zoomers, they're not going to be as strong-handed with the wealth when it comes their way.
It has been quite a thing, though, as we've always said that we're telling you about Bitcoin when no one else is. This is your chance to buy it when it's a weird thing in the woods that no one knows about. Now the banks are actively supporting it, so maybe not that much up in the future if everyone's buying it. But then again, it is just more buying pressure, more people buying Bitcoin. Next up, we've got some quick stories. We're just going to go through these pretty fast. End of show quick stories. A Bitcoin mining water heater is actually real and you can buy it. Announced at CES and trumpeted all over the world in every Twitter account and every news story. The Bitcoin mining water heater. Everyone has just discovered that Bitcoin makes heat and you can use it for stuff. This company has a water heater that doubles as a Bitcoin miner. As they say, it might even pay you to heat water, ending the horrible amount of money that you've been wasting heating water. Adam Meister, what do you think about the Bitcoin-powered water heater? And keep in mind, the entire internet is going nuts about this story. Everything on Twitter is Bitcoin-powered water mining heater. They can't believe it. And that's to say nothing of the possibility we haven't even talked about. There's a lottery ticket possibility. I don't know how they do it, but maybe if your water miner heater, water heating miner, if it catches the right lottery ticket, maybe you get the full reward, or you get a bonus or something. Who knows?
Oh my God. Well, practical use of Bitcoin right there. Heat your house with Bitcoin. I think that's really cool. It's something that normies can understand. And they'll be like, well, maybe I do want to mine this, but if it cuts down on my heating bills, maybe I will be interested in this. So I like the practical use case. I think it is very good. And I wish there were more products like this. Just like something that a normie could explain, like, yeah, my whole house is being heated by Bitcoin. Great. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it does sound cool. It makes more sense than Balaji did back in the day with 21.co and the Bitcoin mining toaster. This toaster will mine Bitcoin, or this light bulb will mine Bitcoin.
Or Balaji will just run, or he'll run away to Singapore and say how horrible the United States is and write a book called The Network State, or I mean, this is what he does now. This is and scare people about a virus and then make a lot of money off of scare. I mean, it's unbelievable what this guy does. This is, but everybody forgets.
But the real issue, Adam, is he's not dealing with the heat in Bitcoin. Why didn't his company just go after this water heater or a home heater or something that just makes sense, where you say, well, these chips make energy anyway, even if they become obsolete, which we know that's an issue here. You're probably going to mine Bitcoin for like the first 6 months of the water heater. Maybe then the chips are too slow. I don't know. That's certainly an issue. But if the device is designed to make heat anyway, and not just heat occasionally, like once a day, like a toaster, that would be the world's hottest Bitcoin mining toaster, or putting it in your Wi-Fi router and have your Wi-Fi router overheat. No one wants any of these things. But if you have a device where heat is good, and you're using the heat and you're making steam, or you're making, hot water, or you're making, heat for the house, the 21.co money, which again, just completely evaporated and is completely gone. If you just focus on the startup money, they raised tens of millions, I imagine. And I think they sold most of their assets or their cool stuff to Strike. Strike bought some kind of web page from them recently. I forget. But
I got to say with Balaji, I think he just likes to hear himself talk. He loves his 5-hour podcast and such like that. I mean, the amount of times I've heard like some smart people be like, "Oh yeah, okay, enough." And I mean, it's unbelievable with that guy. Big talker, big talk. And he's doing his network state and complaining about the United States, that the American empire will fall. Just some of these Bitcoins, American empire, this self-hatred is unbelievable. And by the way, I like Singapore. Okay, got no problem. Well, whatever. Okay, sorry, we've gone off on a tangent. Next story.
I think they also invested heavily in one of those little countries down in Latin America that was going to have no rules, and that didn't work out either. Next quick story. Bitcoin is now 56.7% green. Here's how it could get even cleaner. Bitcoin mining is accelerating renewable energy development and deployment, replacing fossil fuel heating, expanding energy access, and cutting methane emissions at scale. We told you so, we told you so, we told you so 100 times. Bitcoin's actually good for the environment, as we've been saying for years. It allows us to access like that flaring gas, the extra burn-off gas. It allows us to access hydroelectric power where we run out of batteries, and then we could run Bitcoin miners. There's all kinds of ways in which Bitcoin finds the cheapest energy available and then uses that, which is good for the environment. We've been saying it for years, but again, they have to admit it now. They have to turn around the whole boat, the whole engine. Bitcoin, not only not bad for the environment, actually good. Adam, what do you think of that?
Well, no people lying and saying it's bad because that's what they do. A lot of these politicians, trust me, they'll intertwine it with the AI energy data centers, and they'll be like, yeah, Bitcoin's part of this too. It's killing the environment. No, it is a great way to use excess energy on Bitcoin. The flaring that's been going on, we've been reading stories about that in Alberta since 2017. Most people just do not take the time to think, and they're just like, Bitcoin dirty, bad. And so I expect the lies to continue, even when the truth is out there.
It is interesting. An entire industry lied about. Our next quick story, the entire Zcash core dev team has resigned. ZEC is in a free fall now. We do have additional information on this story. Some people are saying that the dev team has resigned from the electric coin company that runs Zcash because they don't know how to spend, or they're unhappy with how they're spending their alleged $35 million of cash, and that this dev team is starting a new company, and that they're just going to keep developing on Zcash. So this might actually be a buying opportunity. But let's just talk about it generally. Adam Meister, what do you think? The Zcash core dev team has resigned. Is this a problem that could come to Bitcoin? Is this something we need to watch out for in the future?
Well, one of my bigger questions is like, why did Zcash come back from the dead this last year? That was a weird development, wasn't it? But other than that, because it was pretty hot in like 2017 or something like that.
It was hot for a while when it came out, but recently there's been an interest in privacy coins, Monero.
Yeah. So they said that
Zcash kind of sounds more reasonable than Monero. So
yeah, that's a little bit. These gimmick coins, I've seen them come and go. Altcoin flavor of the month, but yeah, it's been altcoin flavor of the month in 2 different decades. No, I'm not too worried about that for Bitcoin. This is a totally centralized coin and everything. Bitcoin has developers and people doing different things all over the world. And to tell you the truth, there's been a lot of that drama in their Bitcoin world of developing and stuff. And most of the people who hold Bitcoin don't give a rat's tuchlis about it. So like, no, I'm not too worried. Something like this happening to Bitcoin, it affecting Bitcoin in any way. Bitcoin is pretty straightforward what it is and doesn't need that many changes or any changes. So yeah, I mean, when you got something like Zcash, you always got to come up with the Zcash 2.0 or 3.0 type of thing. Bitcoin doesn't have that worry, and Bitcoin does not have a centralized authority like the Zcash people did right there that all quit or get fired or whatever.
It is a specific weakness of Zcash and other centralized coins that they'd have this centralized dev team that could get fired.
Because they tried to get fancy. We're going to have a company called the Electric Development Company. I mean, this is Ethereum had the same thing. We've got a foundation.
Well, remember for Zcash, a big part of this is that they had the block reward. So part of every block, and I don't know the details, not involved, I assume goes to the Electric Coin Company. Yeah. Then they pay the devs, or they hire advertising, or go on vacation, or whatever they're going to do with the money, which has been hailed as a big idea. A lot of people liked the founder's reward. Other people, my friend Rhett Creighton famously edited it out, made the other, not Zcash, what's it called? Some other thing. And
Bitcoin private,
Zen Coin, be private, Zcash Classic or something.
What a time to be alive that was.
All of those things. And again, what was so funny about that is when they took the dev reward away, they found it was hard to get people to develop on the new chain. And so I think they were going to fork it, reinstitute a dev reward, and call it Zen or whatever, some other new coin. But it's still happening. It's still going. Either way, I mean, it sounds like I think Zcash is going to be okay. People are freaking out about the downturn, but it seems like the devs are going to go work for another company, and the company itself still has allegedly $35 million to develop whatever this project is. So it's still going to go good. The real tragedy out there is I saw my friend Ryan Taylor, who's been making a lot of stuff with the ZK AV Club, and they just record videos and they educate people about Zcoin and other cryptos and things like that. they just got a huge grant, and I'm kind of guessing that it's denominated in Zcash, and the dang Zcash just went down. So I'm afraid that the value of their huge grant went down, but I still hope the best for them. I'm psyched they got a huge grant, which again is another thing, Bitcoin doesn't have. We don't have any grant systems. We never got a grant for this show or any of the shows we've done. So that is a thing. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I don't know. Dash.
Wow. Yeah, don't value your wealth in Zcash, people. There's a lesson right there. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Pound that level.
It is a big thing, though. You get a grant, and I think it was like a $250,000 grant at the time that it was received. But then obviously we've seen Zcash decline, so maybe 200, maybe 180. I don't know, but still awesome, and shows how sometimes these decentralized things can work out. Although at other times, I've heard that other people won the Zcash grants, and they had really great proposals, and then they did absolutely nothing. So they just took the money, and it's really hard to say if you could even have any accountability on that. They're kind of working for you. It's kind of a grant. They're kind of not working for you. Their reputation's on the line, but people will sell their reputations. We've seen that. But we've got some more quick stories here, just really quickly. Wyoming's Frontier stablecoin debuts. Will it offer yield? The Wyoming Frontier stable token is now available to the public 4 months after its official launch, and I was just skimming the article here, trying to figure it out, trying to say, what the heck is this for? Who is going to use this Wyoming?
Not yet. It's not for anything yet. It's like interbank transactions. It's like, make it for people. Let there be let the state of it's just simple, dudes.
I was like, can you pay for parking tickets? Can you pay for your taxes? Can you pay for your government services? Any way for the people to be involved in this Wyoming coin, which would make sense. This little itty bitty state, no one lives there. Get the people involved. But that's not what's happening.
That's what Caitlin wants. That it's that simple. Let there be a state bank or whatever, and let them issue a bunch of Wyoming coin. That's it. And it's backed, and you believe your state bank of Wyoming or whatever, that there's a bunch of dollars or what treasuries sitting in the bank, and then it starts to circulate. You pay your taxes, and it's awesome. And it isn't that at all yet. It should be.
Well, and even that makes no sense. Like, is Wyoming going to go against the federal government? Are they going to just tell people patriotically, like, feel good when you spend Wyoming coin, and you create a circular environment of the Wyoming, and then it never leaves us, and then we as a Wyoming government gets rich, and then they build you, I don't know, a space center or a big telescope or something. I don't know what you want in Wyoming.
It would leave Wyoming, though. That's the thing. It would be great. It would start traveling, and then all other states would do the same type of thing, because there is as Tether and all these things guys have proved, when you own your own stable coin, there is profit in there. There's like automatic amazing profit. So yeah, I wish Wyoming would be allowed to do their experiment fully. This is nowhere close to full. This is nowhere close to like 1% even. I don't know. So it's just another news story. Another Wyoming. I give her all the credit in the world, Caitlin Long. Just keep on trying, keep on pushing it.
And that would be fantastic, Adam, if we had 50 states with 50 coins and they were all competing against each other. And part of it would be an economic argument. Another argument would be the cool factor, the cachet. Oh, I only spend California coin, or, oh, I use New York coin because that's the cool one, or whatever. I don't think Wyoming coin would be the winner in this battle. But what if they could be the first? I mean, it'd be great. And like you say, they have to do it. It's like a local currency, like the Brixton pound or whatever. We say, have pride in your local community, spend Wyoming coin, like make a choice, jump through all these hoops, use a really weird wallet, take a bunch of risk with your money, take a bunch of risk with your value, do all this stuff for patriotic state related reasons of a local state. It's a very tough sell. But it's kind of, I mean, again, if they put up signs in the grocery stores and
ease of use,
charging Wyoming coin, I mean, I don't know what it's.
Ease of use would make it an easy sale. If it was easy to use, that's it. It would be great. But okay.
If it was a digital dollar and you could send it from person to person,
yes,
and you could just pay in your wallet, and it was
that's
a
what
good
it's supposed
app
to
on your
be.
phone, and you'd walk around and you'd be like, "Hey, hi Wyominger," and send him $1, and hey, I want to buy a coffee with Wyoming coin, beep beep, and it just did it. I don't know. It could be cool, but I don't think that's what that is. So we'll wait. We'll wait till the next Wyoming coin. The next short issue, Trump is pardoning CZ, then Binance is moving to the UAE, according to Sitebringer at the profit _profit_, not a great name, is not coincidence. It's coordinated power migration, jurisdictional realignment, and that the U.S. legal system manufactured pressure on CZ. CZ gave up and then relocated from the U.S. to UAE. And I just thought it was interesting. We talk about CZ and Binance all the time, how they moved out of Malta when Malta started to ask for tax money. They moved out of some other country when they asked for tax money. Then they said, we don't exist in any country at all. And now I guess they're moving to the UAE. So just as brief update on this continued band of alleged would-be pirates. Adam, what do you think? They're moving to UAE. Binance keeps moving around. It's like a sci-fi.
It's two
novel.
different things. They keep moving around. Yeah, and he bribed his way out of getting prosecuted in the United States. It's two different things. What? Who cares? I don't even care. It's why care? I mean, well, the thing to care about is we shouldn't be accepting bribes in the United States. That's not too cool. But moving to UAE, great. Yeah, whatever. It's not part of some grand conspiracy, dude. I hate these grand conspiracy nonsense. That's why I just
assume the greater conspiracy would be for him to stay in the United States because
exactly.
he's paid his penalty there. He has presumed legal safety there. He can
there
pay
you
off
go.
additional funds.
That
he
would
have
be
less control in the UAE. So
that would be the conspiracy. That would be it. Like he bribed his way out of prosecution. And now he gets to open his business that no one else would let him open anywhere else in the United States, which he just bribed. So, like, going to the UAE is not part of that at all. So that's it. You're absolutely right there. Absolutely.
And there is a possibility that there's a counter in the president. You walk up to the counter, you say, "Hey, I've got 5 million and I want a pardon," and they don't necessarily care about your background. They want 5 million. They're selling the pardon. They're not like lifelong business partners with CZ. They're not, buddies forever. They had a deal. It was a good deal. I think both sides benefited from buying a pardon, allegedly, of course. Moving on to the next quick issue. Did the DOJ prosecutors violate Trump's executive order by selling the forfeited Samurai Wallet Bitcoin? And I got to go against Bitcoin Magazine here in quite a lot way. I don't think they violated it at all. I think it's an existing law that criminal property from a criminal case, putting aside the Samurai Wallet issue, so on and so forth. If we just say that it's criminal property like a boat or a painting or a Rolex watch or whatever it is, the standard practice is for the Justice Department to sell it, to get it into dollars, which again, the United States government owns. It's good for them. And I don't think this was any different. I'm aware of the executive order, so on and so forth. I don't think it supersedes victims' restitution, paying for the police officers, everything else that's done with this money. I think it's going to keep happening. I think if they want to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve, they need to stack up the balls, pass some legislation, and put actual money into it. Like if you want to say buy $500 million or whatever your number is of Bitcoin, great. That's a strategic Bitcoin reserve. If you say, we're going to take all of the change from Community Chest and Chance and all of the late fees from Blockbuster, and we're going to put that into Bitcoin or whatever, that's not a Bitcoin reserve. That's these little scraps. And I don't think that they can get into the Justice Department to get this criminal property. Adam Meister, what do you think? Bitcoin Magazine, a little right wing on this one, I think.
Yeah, they seem to be just doing what they usually do with money that they've confiscated, right? I mean, that's what you. That's I'm not too worried about this. I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's standard stuff. And again, if they want to make a Bitcoin reserve, pass the actual legislation, spend some real money, and then, you know, we'll start the horrible counter of how much money they made with the reserve or how much money they lost with the reserve, depending on if they buy at a good time or not, and then how long they're willing to wait. If we wait 5 years, it seems all right. Next issue, and there's not much to this. Trump crypto venture World Liberty applies for bank charter. And it's just interesting seeing more crypto firms becoming banks. This one's no different. Will allow them to expand their stablecoin operations. As Adam said, it's all about stablecoins. This is also coming up in the United States Senate, where they'll be voting on crypto market structure on January 15th. So we have the Supreme Court tariff decision coming up, and we have the crypto market structure. Crypto market structure is expected to pass and would likely protect Tether and other stablecoins, as we've seen in the past. Adam Meister, what do you think about the U.S. bank charter, perhaps for World Liberty Financial, and then the all-important crypto structure legislation?
The World Liberty Financial thing has been so shady since the beginning. Like, my special advisor's son, I'm going to give him lots of privileges. He can open a stable coin, but nobody else can open a stable coin. I mean, it really looks horrible. They have no, World Liberty Financial is just a bunch of young guys that pulled some crypto ideas out of their tuchluses. You and I have encountered such men a million times over the last, since 2013. So why them? Why do they get to have their own bank, or they're even to have all this special? We shouldn't have all these darn regulations and rules. Anybody should be able to create their own stable coin, okay? Anybody should be able to create their own bank is what I say. And so these limitations, these regulations just are all about the ring of power, and the current administration has no shame in using the ring of power for their friends and relatives out in the open. I mean, it's just like these guys have no special qualifications to have World Liberty Financial is just a joke. Again, we've seen dudes like this come up with these ideas for years and years on the internet. They would have been in ICOs if they were old enough in 2017. These were the same type of, and sure, God bless them, let them do that. Let them have that experience back in 2017 or whatever. But don't like give them a whole bank because of it. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely insane. And that anytime I hear that the term World Liberty Financial, I totally cringe. I mean, I just think, like, how can anyone even with a straight face try to pretend this is a legitimate organization?
It's been a beautiful, beautiful crime spree, but I feel the same for the stablecoin legislation and the supposed market clarity. It seems like it's mainly going to protect current market participants and make it hard for people to join the market. The same thing we've seen with all of the past legislations, where it's going to put up barriers, make it harder to get in, harder to start a business, harder to run a business, so on and so forth. I'm interested, though, in the timing, the way that the Supreme Court thing and the crypto bill are starting to link up. I don't think that's going to be good for us, but it does look like we're going to have some really large events, because although we've said the news hasn't affected things, if we did have some form of regulatory clarity for Bitcoin, there is an idea that would make the price finally go up. At the same time, as Adam and I said, this tariff issue, I don't know, it's a pretty unpopular issue, so on and so forth, but a lot of money has been collected. Costco has already sued the administration to get their money back. If these tariffs are overturned by the court, Costco will want the money back. As we've said, the administration has some kind of alternative plan where they're going to run the tariffs through anyway. I don't know if the Supreme Court's going to overturn that alternative plan as well. They have acted quickly when they feel like it. So if they put the tariffs illegal, they feel they got slapped in the face, making the tariffs legal again. The Supreme Court could very much act the next day, make the tariffs illegal a second time. We have no information on this or no court cases or whatever, but just things that they could do. And so that might neuter the effect of this crypto legislation, which has been a long time coming. Everyone wants this, even though we don't know if it's going to be good or bad for Bitcoin. It does seem like it might help Coinbase and some of the current entrenched players like World Liberty Financial, of course. Adam Meister, any more on this issue? Or on
Nothing.
tariffs in the court?
Clarity helps, though. I don't like regulation and everything like that. I know it helps the entrenched veterans or the people but let's just have some clarity on stable coins so people actually just start spending them for real, because people really aren't spending them that much right now, and it'll be good for the economy. So some sort of regulatory clarity would be nice right now.
Well, we're running out of time, so we're going to go to prediction or story of the week. Adam Meister, are you ready with a prediction or a story of the week?
Sure. I mean, I guess my prediction is it's going to be the cycle continues, and I think that's the story of the week too. Is like on social media, they keep on coming up with more complicated theoretical explanations of why it's different this time, yet it's the same this time. And I eagerly await some real life observations and experience that show me it is different this time. But other than that, it's the same this time.
Not much going on this week. Story of the week, just tell everyone to check out How to Live Safely in a Science Fictional Universe. I finished up the book recently. It was pretty great, pretty fun, a lot of time travel, a lot of fun sci-fi stuff. So if you're looking for something to read, check out How to Live Safely in a Science Fictional Universe. I agree with Adam. We have a lot happening in the news this week with the tariffs and the stable coins and all this. Don't know how it's going to go for Bitcoin. But it is fun to be in the news all the time. MicroStrategy being talked out almost every day, this and that. The MSCI we didn't talk about very much, but they did withdraw their idea to delist all of the Bitcoin holding, Bitcoin treasury type companies from their exchange. They did sneak something in, though, where if MicroStrategy issues more shares to buy Bitcoin with, the index will not count those shares. Previously, the index had been counting those shares, and when they rebalanced their index, they were automatically buying MicroStrategy's shares, creating a automatic demand for Saylor stock offerings. It seems like this is going away. So there'll be less demand for Saylor, less demand for other Bitcoin treasury companies because of what MSCI did. But still, the boogeyman goes away. MicroStrategy is not going to be delisted. All the people that freaked out, allegedly, the October 10th crash was all about insiders knowing about this MSCI decision, others of us learning later. So that's gone. President won't stop talking about Bitcoin. Seems like there's good news out there, but we'll have to see how it goes. Thanks to Adam Meister for joining us on the show. Good to see you again, Adam.
I say,
Adam, any more updates about what you're doing or what you've been up to? Anything you're going to do on the channel, or anything you want to leave the viewers?
No,
with?
I did 2 shows in December. That was fun. I want to say pound that like button. Shabbat shalom. I always end my Fridays saying stuff like that. But no, I've been doing a lot of things outside of Bitcoin. And I love Salt Lake City, and just part of being a successful Bitcoiner, I guess, is like getting to a point in your life where hardly anything is Bitcoin anymore. It's just like you're doing what you want to do. I'm going to Hawaii, to Kauai, that island in a week, I guess. On the 14th, I'll be there for like 8 days. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward.
That sounds great. Good to hear, Adam, and good to hear you doing other things and getting out there and having fun. Hawaii is going to be great. That's a great vacation. But thanks to everybody for joining us. Be sure to push thumbs up down below and subscribe. And until next time, bye-bye. We got to leave extra time on it so it leaves the bye-bye in. Last time, it cut off the bye-bye.
Oh, horrible. How could you put